Today at Gadget Class, I'm reviewing a REDI-MEDI 100-piece first aid kit. You can get these on Amazon, and I'll put a link down in the video description below. Size-wise, it is about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger than your standard white crossed metal first aid kit that is designed to be bolted to the wall in your office or in your vehicle or your boat. About the same width. It's a little bit wider and bigger, but it is like a vinyl nylon case, so you can fit a lot more in there. In fact, these metal ones don't hold a whole lot at all. So what I look for in a first aid kit, you kind of have to ask yourself whether you're looking for something to just throw in the car and you don't ever want to think or look at it. Something in the case of extreme emergencies, it'll have the essentials. Or if you want something that's more of a survival pack. So you can take it, throw it in your BugOut pack, and go out in the woods, and it'll be set up to handle any kind of emergency or any kind of situation you have. I tend to lean more towards the survival side of things, but I'm going to show you what you can add to this kit to make it a much better kit for both survival and basic first aid needs. So let's just take a quick look at what we get in here. I'm not going to go over everything, but I'll go over the main points. You do get a nice little quick reference chart here. It tells you what to do with bleeding, sprains, strains, burns, CPR, all the basics. That's good to have right there in the front. Everything's easy to read. That's probably the most important thing in the whole kit there. You got your CPR mask. You got 2 large stretch bandages. You got plenty of little gauze pads, big band-aids. Here's all your antiseptic and iodine and anti-itch packs. I find that these kind of tend to dry up if they're left in the sun too long. So you want to keep an eye on these and maybe switch over to little tiny liquid bottles of things. Maybe keep a small bottle of alcohol in there. And then we got our larger gauze pads and our larger gauze sponge there. And we also get some safety pins. That's good for doing the stretch bandages and the triangular bandage. And they even include a little emergency whistle. So all that stuff is pretty basic. You're going to get that same stuff in any kit, just of greater or varying degrees. So you got the basics on the gauze and bandage side there. Take a look over here. We'll go over the flashlight in a second. We got our stretch bandage tape. We've got our triangular bandage or arm sling. And then we've got 2 sets of, looks like really thin latex gloves, maybe nitrile. I would go ahead and replace these with some heavy-duty nitrile gloves. If you're just using this for extreme emergencies, those are going to be just fine for most people. So you can do whatever you want there. The case does flip open like that. I do like the way that the band-aids are like nicely arranged in here, although all the same size bandages are in all these different compartments. I would consolidate all these and put different size bandages in there so that you have a nicer assortment there. But you do get plenty of band-aids to handle, you know, all the cuts and scrapes that an average person would have or an average family would have over the course of maybe 4 or 5 months. You get a pair of cheapo scissors. I would replace these with better scissors. We get a little multi-tool, one of those little survival multi-tool things that has various size, you know, bolt heads and cutters, all that kind of stuff. Most of the time people don't use these, but if you were stranded in an emergency, you could use the blade. You could use it for various things, but I would recommend supplementing the kit with better survival tools. And we've also got a cheap pair of tweezers. I would recommend upgrading those. And then, last but not least, we've got an emergency cold pack. This will automatically get cold and make a good compress for a strain or a sprain. And we've got a space blanket. Those are actually pretty useful, even in a survival situation if you're trying to keep warm in the woods. And we've got 2 more smaller stretch bandages. So that's all you get in the kit. It is a basic 100-piece kit. Now, how would I make this kit better? Let's take a look at this flashlight real quick. It is hand-powered with a capacitor backup, but it's kind of big. I like the idea of being able to have infinite light out in the woods, but honestly I'm going to replace this with a smaller keychain light or a smaller Cree flashlight, and that'll give me a lot more room for the stuff we're going to go over now. First thing you should add is a bottle of Bizine or eye wash. Second thing, ibuprofen, Aleve, and Excedrin migraine, or something with caffeine and acetaminophen in it. Super glue. You can glue some major wounds together with super glue. That's an important thing to have. A mirror. If you're stranded and lost in the woods and you're trying to flag down an airplane or a helicopter, a mirror is one of the best things you can have. Flint. This is a little flint strip. You can get these even smaller than that, but you do want some way to start fire. I would recommend keeping a standard Bic lighter in there as well. Little hotel room sewing kit. I have used the heck out of this one, but usually they have needles, various kinds of thread, button, and safety pins. You might have to sew something together, and it's not a bad idea to have a sewing kit, even if you're just stranded out in the woods and need to darn your socks together. That's something to have. A cheapo compass, at least. If not a really hardcore compass, something cheap will work. Some paracord, or what I have here is a shoelace. Little flashlight. I'm going to replace that flashlight with some sort of magnifying glass, so you can see wounds, see things up close. This is a nice card-sized magnifying glass. And this is a little bit extra. This is a solar-powered radio. It will kind of keep you in touch with whatever's going on the radio waves. That's optional because it's not going to really help you communicate outside of your stranded area. I would also recommend adding a small amount of fishing line, fishing hooks, and some small fishing implements, and whatever else you can carry. You want a few condoms in there. Condoms are great for carrying water. They're not just for having sex in the woods. You can use a lot. You can do a lot of things with condoms. And some sort of tree saw. You can get those coil up tree saws. I actually didn't take apart my other first aid kit, which actually has all that stuff in it. I've actually got one that's about that big and has most of this stuff in it in a much smaller form. So as a first aid kit, I think it's a great starting point. I would recommend it as long as you supplement it. But if you just want something to buy, throw in the boat, the car, keep at the office, it's going to have most everything you need. Since you're hopefully not going to use it that much anyways, I think it's a good product. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I think they could have fit a little bit more in if they kind of rearranged and took some things out that don't really need to be in there. But overall, it's 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, decent product. So make sure you hit yes for found this review helpful, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.